Okay,
Hi,
here we
everyone.
go. Hey everybody, this is, I'm told, the 8th live Q&A on February the 10th. Welcome, we've got a special guest tonight. Ryan is going to join us on the chat and also in the game. This is one of our backers. Hey Ryan. And we are going to play him. Well, we're going to play his portrait and we're going to play a troll rigger. Actually, this is one of the main things. We are playing the game.
Life is sweet.
We're playing a version of the game that you are... Well, Florian is playing the version of the game. I'm just going to talk shit about it. That you will be able to see on the 17th of this month.
Yeah, so it's finally out. Everyone's been asking us, when's the next update going to come? And it's the 17th, so in exactly a week you'll be able to play.
Yeah, it totally is the 17th. But since we are evil, we are trying to show off the fact that we already have a version, and you can see that. So we want to go into what's new in the upcoming version, and also give you a bit of an idea about what else is going to come in. And obviously, we also want your questions. So if you are here and you're not Nevok, you can ask questions. Nevok, I'm sorry, you're not allowed to ask any questions. So, yeah, maybe we just dive into it. Okay, so we're gonna, this is the game map as you know it. Just to give you a short glimpse into the future, this will evolve a bit. You'll actually see more districts, and these districts will change states over the course of the game. This is still a bit further off, but you'll actually see a game progression on that city map. And maybe we start with a new character creation. So from the 17th onward, there is a character creation in. We took the liberty of already starting with it. You can see that you've got your meta type. The meta type actually will make a difference. I'm not entirely sure. The data is going to be all in, right? From that one
it should
as
be,
well. Yeah. So you, from now on, your meta types actually are not only cosmetical. They do have different abilities. Trolls, for example, have, as the text is saying, extra health and damage. Some of that may be changing due to balancing, but by and large, all the meta-humans have special abilities, and even the humans, straightforward humans, do. We also have backgrounds. Currently, there's just one, which is game designer.
Oh, there's actually a second one.
There's a second one, level designer. Oh, okay. Oh, we've evolved. So these two are obviously internal, but they may make it to the game as well. So yeah, game designer is a background, but there will be things like ex-cop, ex-sniper, I don't know, BTL addict, bouncer, stuff that rounds up your character and also gives you some part, at least some of them, all of them actually are going to give you a few positive traits and a few negative traits. So there's always going to be a trade-off, but it also sort of increases the history of your character. Now, one thing that we are going to do, which is not yet in, is there's going to be a character background box with a text that you can put in. So basically, when other players in the game see you and inspect you, they can read your personal history that you created. Or if you just want to put swear words in, we don't judge. So that's okay as well. Yeah, so this is the character creation screen, and you can select one of the nifty portraits. Why don't we select a portrait that fits a certain character? Here we go, Mecha Phantom. Yeah, one of our backup portraits. There's a lot more going in. We're still working on a few outstanding ones, so if you are a backer and you have backed us at the portrait level, but yet didn't get a portrait for approval, this is because we're still going through them. But we are down the list. I think we narrowed it down to like 10 missing or something now.
8
12,
missing by
8
now.
missing by now. See, we're making progress. So we're almost there. Yeah, nice portraits. Then we have skills. Maybe we show those. Because with skills, we added a new skill tree, which is rigging. And as you can see, not only do we have that new skill tree, but this skill tree has 10 different levels or different ranks, some of them branching, and so do all the other skill trees in the game. So for those that wondered if there's only ever going to be 5 different skill levels, no, obviously we have 10. 10 is going to be the number that's in the game initially, and it should be enough to keep you occupied for a while. What we'll also do is, because we've got a lot of feedback from our backers saying, and from players in the early access version, saying that you don't like the fact that we force you to go into non-combat skills by training specific skills. So what we'll add in the future is a body and a mind tree, well, for want of a better word. And this one will actually be what we see as stats, because a lot of people ask about stats as well. These stats are going to be partly non-combat skills, so they get sort of a body will get, I think, demolition and unlock, and between the non-combat skills you also get improved body, improved strength, improved agility. So the Shadowrun stats, but instead of giving you an absolute number, we'll allow you to improve them. So basically what you do is more in the context of 5th edition, where you have the ability to sort of prioritize certain attributes or certain skill areas over others. And this sort of attribute or priority bias is something that we emulate to a degree in this. Okay. So that is what we have in the skill department. We also have equipment and weapons. The screen isn't finished yet, so we're not showing it because it's ugly. But maybe we can show a bit about how the hub works in the future. Now this is still the old stand-in hub, so this is not going to be the final hub. The final hub is actually going to be a really colorful, really large city hub with a lot of people and NPCs in. But for now the functionality is just that, and as you can see here we have 3 great dialogue options. They are a bit monothematic currently, but that's just because they're placeholders. So we'll have a bit more variety in the way you interact with characters. And now Smetley is giving us our first task. Which, since we're walking directly from the archive, is not going to be relevant, so we're just going to click through that. Woohoo! Go, 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 go. La, 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 la. Back, forth, back, forth. You got a job. Get out and do it. We also got a shopkeeper, but he's currently, as you can see, a bit stiff and also not very active. But until the 17th, you actually get a couple of shopkeepers, you get a couple of NPCs, and a couple of mission-giving characters in the hub as well. So let's go on a mission, maybe. One of the new missions that you haven't seen. As you can see here, we've got a lot of missions. And again, because we are just spiteful people, we're not going to put all of those in the next build. Well, the actual reason is they're not ready. So this is a lot of what we call Act 2 missions. And basically the next update will have all of the Act 2 missions, other than sort of the side missions. So it's just the story missions. There's a couple of side missions as well that you'll be able to play. But for now we concentrate on the main missions, and the next update will have the complete Act 2 missions. And we'll go into, let's go to, Escape from Boston. It's a bit of a story spoiler, so if you've never seen the game and want to play it like you play it for the first time, forget what you see in the next 10 minutes. There's a random button for those people that just don't care who they go on a mission with.
I love the random button.
He loves the random button. And then you get a lot of naked people. Can we remove Preacher from that? Because the skill set isn't up to it. Just select one. Yeah. And here's another nifty feature. You see, because up to now you just had sort of the little list there. Now you've got an actual inspect, so you get a lot more information about the character you're taking with you. Astute viewers will notice that currently hit points are 200. The reason for that is we didn't want to lose all the time when we play and we suck, so we just cheated and gave him 200 hit points, which makes it much easier to just walk through. But you also see there's the skills, the different skill sets, the non-combat skills that are really important to a lot of people, and this kind of inspect will be there for everybody. And again, there's a little text. Currently it's a lower ipsum, but in the future it will hold your Shadowrunner's background text that you created. So you can create your own character and other people can see what it is you've written. There's another change people that already played the game will recognize. Actually, if you go to the skills, all the henchmen, the people that you take with you on a mission, now only have one skill tree. We've had a lot of feedback from people that especially when they go down the skill tree, so there's more active skills available, they're slightly confused by the amount of options they have. Also, we had a lot of feedback that the henchmen lacked character because they didn't have a primary sort of task they're doing. We are now experimenting with this. We're giving them one main skill tree, which is going to be the weapon or conjuring or magic, really making them a decker or a mage or a shaman. So they got sort of their primary purpose. The secondary skill tree will be a body or mind skill tree, so it will define the non-combat interactions. So maybe it's a decker hacker, or maybe it's a decker organ grinder, organ harvester. And it'll also make them more individual because it'll improve their body and mind stats, so to speak. So this is what you're going to have for co-op, so actual live co-op. You'll of course get the co-op characters in full. So the difference between taking henchmen with you and taking another human with you, or several other humans, is also going to be the fact that you have more skills at your disposal, but then you have different people running that, so you don't get headaches from it. Yeah, maybe let's just start. Hit points. Okay, I'm just looking at a bit of the feedback while we see the loading screen here. Yeah, thank you, Nevok. It's actually we are really proud of the leaps it has made in development, and now that we can actually show them, we are a lot happier, because a lot of the time we knew that there's stuff coming, but always going around, hey, there's stuff coming is a bit harder. First thing, maybe some of you noticed the new UI. It's still not perfect, but I think it's much better in differentiating friend and foe. And you can also see that there's a little inspect, which gives you sort of the top issues or top information for a character. And yeah, off we go. Having the henchman with just one skill group actually speeds up decision making a lot, we find. So you don't have to always ponder, A, B, and then end up basically most of the time using one skill tree primarily. There's new animations. A lot of all of the levels that you see or that you currently have in the build have been reworked. Some of them visually, but all of them have been reworked with new AI, new balancing in. So this is an actual much closer to the real game balancing, which means difficulty levels should be less inconsistent. Here is as you just saw, is a status effect. So we also visualize the status effects now because. Ooh, whoa, that's the minigun. I haven't seen the minigun in action before. That is.
Let's give them something they haven't seen before.
Okay. Oh yeah, rigging time. Okay, so here's the officially first time that you can see a drone in live action. There is the drone. Can you zoom in a bit so we can see the beauty? Yay, drone. Yeah, as you can see, it's got two guns, so it's one of the range drones. There's another one, which is more of a tank kind of thing. And the rigger has the ability to rig into the drones and improve action points, hit, and all that stuff. So whenever you rig in, your drone will get much stronger, but obviously then you're rigged in, so you lose an action for that.
Oh, crap, I'm hit. Keep your head down.
Okay, drones.
What does it look like I'm doing?
Yeah. As you can see, we also worked a bit on the effects, so a lot of the effects have been spruced up. The ragdoll is less silly than it was before.
How do you like that?
And we also have comments, so a lot of the guys, when you do something, they react to it. So inside the game, there's a lot of communication going on. Rig drone. Now we're talking. And your henchman, but also the enemy will, shout insults or clever tips like "Don't get hit" or something like that. Yeah, maybe let's explore the level a little. Oh, here's a new enemy as well. I don't think, you haven't seen this before. This is one of our head cases. And as you can see, they are a very special breed of enemies. Maybe we can, yeah, you just kill him before he comes at you, but you can also let him come at you because, yeah, okay. Or you just go ahead and kill him.
He's dead.
Ah, damn. Yeah. There's the guy with the minigun again.
Yeah.
And we are really, really lucky that we've got 200 hit points, because otherwise he would have probably mowed down most of you by now. Yeah, so a lot of the balancing has changed, a lot of the skills, actually the enemy skills have changed as well. And with the new skill tree extension, of course, you'll also find new skills in that build. Yeah, pro tips, as I said, don't get shot. I mean, they're full of these little gems of wisdom. But they also berate you if you don't, like if you miss, they shout at you. Yeah, they're like a bunch of Shadowrunners, you know. That's the way my group behaves most of the time. You really have it in for this guy, have you?
He's got a minigun.
He's got a minigun, that is true. Okay, question time while Florian plays on. I mean, that you get a good impression, and if I notice anything else that's worth pointing out, then obviously I will. But if you have any questions, just put them in the chat. I'm reading this while Florian plays, so I don't have to multitask because I suck at multitasking. Oh, there's more new enemies. There's the turret, and I think there's an infected. Yeah, a couple of infected guys as well. Yeah. Infected are really... the way we designed them as a sort of an enemy faction is they really don't care much for their own health, which makes them...
What are you taking shots for? Tell me what to do.
Because they just come at you with total disrespect for what happens to them. And there are a lot of them, most of the time.
Need some help
really
over here.
And if you could
Stay
really
low.
that's actually really hard. As always, this is a good example of a mission where you have different ways to
Keep your head down. No
in this
shit.
case, the turrets over to the right, which you can't see. Florian is busy in killing these guys. Yeah, there's turrets there. These have a high physical shield, as you can see with a P under them, and you would need a decker or hacker or rigger to or somebody who's able to do tech damage, get through those. But if you have a team that's put together differently, missed.
Anything like that. Yeah, why didn't I think of that?
Miniguns. You could have also unlocked the door further down. And got
it was worth it
from behind. We've been in cover. We've been out of the range of minigun, the floor. So again, there's different ways to resolve the level. Ooh,
Crit.
Oh, that's a critical. Okay, some questions. Mega Phantom. Yeah, heavies. We will have a rocket launcher. But that's actually consumable, so everybody can use that. We have a heavy category. I'm not sure, it's not finished yet, so currently it's not in. But we're looking at putting that in, and if it doesn't make it, we'll definitely deliver it afterwards. And this has things like flamethrower, probably made launcher and something like that. And Sherm asks, when will the backer stuff be delivered? This is going to be after the launch. We said that a lot of the time we would spend in packing and picking and posting all that.
Some help
it's
over
probably
here.
better spent in actually making the game.
Done with you yet.
And also we're
you.
still waiting on our friends from Catalyst to finish the lockdown campaign book, which is part of a lot of the reward tools for backers. RSMP laser, yeah, you betcha. Which is still, it's going to the printers soon, but it's not at the printers yet, and then it'll definitely take like 2 more months or something to be able to be packaged and shipped. So, and since we don't want to spend, well, we don't want to, but we also can't spend postage for every single item. We want to pack all the items that people get in one, which means we wait until everything else is ready. The physical one coming after launch, and we will, as soon as we know when and what exactly is going to happen with that, we'll let you know, of course.
I have something we haven't shown yet.
Oh, what's it?
The consumables.
Yay, grenades! Yeah, again, people were asking for grenades and medkits. Medkits is also it's just not in these builds.
Watch out!
But you have grenades of your own now.
Oh, yeah, why didn't I think
that's
of
just
that?
a one-off. But yeah, as I said, there's also rocket launchers that make a pretty big bang, as well as consumables for non-combat skills. So if you don't have a hacker with you, but you want to hack this one thing, yeah, use something that will help you at least once. I'm hearing that the game is too loud and we are too quiet.
Okay.
That's because of all the action that happens in the game. I think we could try and up the volume for this a bit, or we put down the volume for the game. Yeah, let us know if that's any better. Thanks for pointing it out. Customization of guns, drones, cyberdecks to improve their performance. We will have different levels of cyberdecks and guns and stuff like that. We won't have direct customization options in the sense of being able to modify them yourself.
Keep your head down.
We wanted to have that. It's actually part of the design. We're still aiming for this, but it's probably not going to make it into the release version. Because the balancing is really, really hard, and also the sort of the extra UI and work is something that we that sort of derails from the core balancing. But yeah. Okay. Mecha Phantom asks how much text is going to be voiced and what do voice packs include. Okay, so the voice packs, basically what you'll have is on the character creation, you can choose a specific voice pack that we won't have, a different voice pack for every race, but we'll have like grumpy guy and female, male and stuff like that. So a good selection of voice packs for you to round off your character. And the inside the game, the voice packs will mainly service during missions. You actually have these feedbacks and little insults that you trade. And we will also have part of the dialogues voiced. Not all the dialogues, that is just insanely expensive. But we're going to try and voice as much as we can. So basically, as long as we'll go into the studio with some voice actors, and we'll make them record as long as they're willing to stay, and then maybe a little longer. And after that, we'll see how far we get on that. But the idea is to voice, at least the initial experience to a pretty high degree, and just make it feel more alive this way. Oh, you're already at the next stage. So we fought through the infected room there, and now comes to a different story point. And there's a couple of enemies, surprisingly, wagging their tails at you. This is why we have an allergic reaction to puppy eyes, because the puppies in our game are really, really bad. Character customization, Telemoon is asking. Well, the character customization, the faces themselves won't change. So, but what will change is all the different headwear, haircuts, skin colors, beards, glasses, all that stuff, and all the clothing. So that is going to be the main part. In actual fact, if you look at how the game plays, you won't see much of a facial change. We're going to have something like tattoos, for example, face tattoos, face paint. That's going to play an important role, but whether your nose is a little bigger or not doesn't really register much in the gameplay that we have. So we're not doing this. But there's the full character customization, shirt and undershirt and legs and boots and all that stuff. There's going to be a lot of that. Cyberware is also going to be visible if you equip it. Of course, you can wear something over it, but if you don't want to do that, it's going to be visible on the character. Okay, more questions. Kilonian is asking, I know it's on the back burner, to use critters as potential option instead of drones. We will have, well, there's spirits and there's drones currently. Critters, not for now, which doesn't mean that it's impossible. I mean, I can surely think of something like a shaman or a mage that controls actual critters as opposed to the spirits. But yeah, not in the initial lineup. Okay, cyberware, how many slots do you have? Well, we've got arms, chest and head, I think, is the 3 slots that we do have. Looking at Florian with doubt in my eyes, but I think it's those 3.
Legs. I think
Legs as well, that's right. It's 4 actually, 4. Yeah. So each of them are gonna have, well, you can exchange obviously the cyberware that's in there. And you can not currently use the cyberware look without actually having the cyber. But on the other, you can use the, you can have the cyber installed without actually it having Steam, which is sort of the, hey, you made the mission. Yeah. Which is the equivalent, so all my talking, I didn't realize that he already won. Which is actually the equivalent of sort of a non-showing cyberware. So if you don't want to chrome up, the option is always to have the cyberware but not look, make it visible. Yeah, no level editor, it's random. No, well, it's not random. We actually craft our levels really, really carefully, but there's not going to be a level editor. It's going to be a succession of missions. The fact that we're now currently choosing from the archive is just because it's a shortcut for us. So you can actually play as a mission, a story, a campaign that we have, and you can also have side missions if you care to have them.
Actually, the archive is going to vanish in the end.
Yeah. Ultimately, the archive is not there anymore. Currently, it's just a convenience feature, so you don't have to replay all the missions from scratch all the time. And for us, obviously, for testing, it's a lot more simple. In the actual game, you don't have to, or you won't be able to replay all the missions infinitely, but because it's a campaign, you play the mission, and either you win or you lose, and if you win, then you've played that mission. You go through that. You can, however, in co-op revisit it. So if you have a friend who wants to play it, and your character, you're online, and you want to take your character along, you can do that. So you can both, or up to 4 players actually, in the end, can join a mission, and just one guy actually has to have the mission available, so to speak.
That was just a pretty big announcement with the 4 players.
Oops. Forget what I said. You weren't here. 4 players. No, it's co-op is going to come with 4 players. It's at least as an option. The current co-op is 2 players, and we're going to improve that as well a bit. So we have stuff that helps you coordinate in co-op, like a ping, which goes like, "Hey, attack this guy." Yeah. So that's going to improve, but also ultimately we're looking for a 4-player co-op, which almost all the missions will have, other than the starting mission. So initially there's going to be 2-player. And then pretty soon you'll have a full squad at your disposal if you're so inclined. Okay, looking for a couple of more answers. Chiron asks, all the character custom stuff, what about intelligent interior like laser barriers, security cams and booby traps? Yes, of course, we'll have that, but your enemy will have it. I mean, you don't bring a laser booby trap to the mission, but the mission will have one for you. It's not going to be something that is a regular feature in the sense of, everything is going to be booby trapped all the time, because then it's sort of okay, I'll go in, I'll disarm the booby trap, and then I move forward, and then there isn't really much of a choice. We do have, at some stages, we have these cameras that can sound the alarm if you walk through the camera and detect it. We'll have a couple of traps that in some missions are appropriate, but we use them where they make sense. So if you go into a near-net building, you would expect that to have some security that's automated. But if you want to raid the next gang hangout, yeah, they're not going to booby trap their own house, because they're just going to explode whenever they walk in drunk. Okay, are there going to be lifestyle costs set up for between missions? No, the lifestyle that you lead as a Shadowrunner, actually the missions, the way the story plays, which you can't see yet because we haven't put it in, is that it's in pretend time, it's pretty strung together pretty quickly. So it's not like you have weeks and months between the different missions. The missions actually, from the story perspective, come pretty quickly one after the other. So there's not a lot of lifestyle expenditure. You're not going to go on a month boat trip and then come back and do some Shadowrunning. That being said, obviously there is something that in Shadowrun Returns you don't do as often, which is buy new weapons, buy new armor, buy new consumables, buy new folky, all the stuff that you use in missions. That's stuff that you buy, and that in the end makes up your lifestyle. But there's no lifestyle option per se. And okay, there was a post on this forum with bigger chat text option. I think it's already in the new update. It looks like it's the bigger chat text already.
It could be.
Let's see. Yeah, I think it's already bigger. We've exchanged the font, so it's actually readable. Yeah, human readable font is what we like to call it. And also there is a lot of the other texts that have exchanged fonts and a different font size. So I think you'll find it much easier to chat on the eyes now. Okay. Telamund asked whether we consider allowing players to create content by workshop on Steam. It's an online game, so this has been asked many times before, so I'm just going to be brief. No, simply because the difficulty of making an online game and integrating the content into this and making the balancing work, and not having people just create levels where they run through and just collect items and money is relatively high. It's not impossible. I know there's other games that do that, but it's not really something that we have in our current scope. Our editor is actually getting much easier these days for characters and everything else, but the level editor that we use is Unity, and theoretically at some stage maybe we can open that up, but it's going to need a lot of work to secure the system for the other players against people that just build grind missions. So we don't want to have that whole system. So yeah, the short answer is not yet, unfortunately. Kelonian asked whether there will be potential for adepts outside of physical adepts. Yeah, Critter Adept was mentioned. Phase probably not so much, because we don't believe in having talk options that are rolled by dice. It should be something that either you generally want to talk about. My phone's ringing. Ignore it. But gun adepts, maybe. For a launch, it's definitely going to be the ones that you see. There's not going to be a specific adept class. I think the blade adept is, or the blade skill class is what we think of as the adept. Since we don't have character classes, we have at best archetypes. If you look at the blade skill class, it's got all this stuff that you usually would expect from an adept, like ghost kill and being really fast, getting in several blows, stuff like that. So that for us is the blade adept. The gun skill class, if you look at it, could be a gun adept actually, because there's the pistols where you got like, maybe you can show some of the skills. For the pistols, you have the quick shot barrage, where there's several shots from one run and gun. So these sort of Matrix style moves where you move and shoot during that. So they're kind of a little bit like an adept, but as we don't have character classes, we don't call them that. That being said, I think the critter adapt is something that I really like. That's an idea that we should steal, well, not steal, but take on and go with. But definitely not for launch. My designer's going to kill me if I promise anything else. Gas mask, yeah, there's going to be a gas mask, and I'm not sure it's in the current build. We have at least one that I've seen. Maybe it's in there. We can look at our really ugly. That's a stand-in currently, but
there it is.
There's the gas mask.
But
yeah, you don't see it, but you have to equip it, and then you can see it. Yeah. There you go, gas mask. Mecha Phantom served. Are we planning on sponsoring some Twitch players? Maybe, if there is traction to those Twitch plays, we're definitely going to help. I mean, we're going to be happy to play with other people on Twitch. We're also planning a couple of co-op sessions with famous people from the Shadowrun universe, so you can actually live play with, people that we can't name yet, but they're gonna join the game. You can hang out in the chat room, in a 3D chat room, the beautiful 3D virtual cafe where all the players meet, and yeah, that's my wife asking if I'm coming for dinner. That is probably true. And I didn't have dinner, by the way, so that would be appreciated. Yeah, so these sort of guest appearances of other people would actually be something that we plan to do. And yeah, if we do those, then definitely I think there's a Twitch stream somewhere. Yeah, Mecha Phantom is happy. We've got Gasmax drones and a big troll with his portrait on. We, however, think it needs a couple weeks, maybe month more work, because there's other stuff that's missing for other people. But it's good to know that we've got one happy customer at least. Okay, we've been going for, well, a little over half an hour. So if you have a couple of more questions, we're going to answer them now. Otherwise, we're going to leave you with that tasty morsel of the upcoming version. Definitely let us know your feedback, as always, on the Steam forums as well on the Kickstarter forums. Or Shadowrun.com. Or Shadowrun.com.
Or Facebook
or
Twitter.
Facebook, or like personal emails. You can send somebody with pizza. Definitely have pizza for your argument. It's much easier to get across if you send pizza along.
And as you can see, the guys are still working, so
yeah. So some pizza would be appreciated. Yeah. Actually, most of the people that are still working are designers, which is making me particularly proud. Just because you have to mention it, and it's something that very few people see. One of our systems designer, Michael, and one of our level designers, Paul, they actually, because during the day it's really hard to concentrate because a lot of people in here, there's always somebody asking questions, and they wanted to go through the release version of the next version of those Act 2 levels, and they wanted to make sure that they are all pretty well balanced. But since during the day they had so much to do, what they decided was they're going to stay at night and over the weekends. So they have peace and quiet, and they went through all the levels one by one, stuck in the balancing, played them, tested them, changed the balancing, rebalanced, reworked, put them in, rinse and repeat. For all those levels, extra time. And it's not like we asked them about that. I mean, I really appreciate it, but we didn't force them to do it. This is just because they really wanted it to be really, really well done. And if they see that, or if they hear that, and they're somewhere there, then I'm really proud of them for that. It's something that makes this team really special, I think. Okay, a couple of questions maybe there. Armor. NPCs already have armor. It'll work the same way for PCs. There's armor, basically there's different flavors of armor. One is the different damage flavors, as you've maybe seen. We have physical armor, which is normal armor, which is impact and ballistic, same. Magical and technical armor. So you have that, and also some of the armor will grant, for example, extra hit points, or it will make you easier to hit or harder to hit. So there's different flavors and effects with the armor. Consumables will reset between levels, so it won't get damage down in a level and then be depleted. But yeah, next level it's going to be repaired. Otherwise, we would just be selling you lots of armor in the game, and you spend a hell of a lot of money for it because you get hit a lot. Kilonian asks about critter adapts, not for launch, but maybe if we make it a significant donation, we can talk about that. But otherwise, after launch. But it's definitely an idea that we are happy to go with. Advanced magic mechanics, like initiating meta magics. Definitely, again, not during launch, because for now we need to get the system straight. But we have ideas for at least something like meta magics. And also I want to extend the whole magic parts beyond the skill trees that there currently are. But until we've put it in, I'm not going to talk about it, because again, my designers are going to hit me over the head if I do. What do we think about some players participating more closely, sending stuff to the game freely for the studio to analyze and decide if we'll implement or not? Telamund, if you have suggestions, please do send them in. To be honest, at that stage, we are pretty, like, our development plan is pretty set in, well, not in stone, but pretty detailed out. We know what we want to do next. We know what we need to do. We have a lot of polishing tasks that are still up there. And we have a lot of initial features that we want to put in. So I'm not saying that we will not want to listen to this, but I'm definitely saying that it's going to be hard to put anything in between now and launch that hasn't been planned for already. After launch, if the game makes tons of money, everything's on the table. Donations, well, we're not still taking those unless somebody wants to have Critter adapts in and he's willing to pay for that directly. So if anybody wants to buy in Critter adapts, let's chat about the price. No, honestly, no, we're not taking donations anymore. The Kickstarter's ended and the donation period is ended as well. People can play and buy the game on early access. They'll get a damn good deal about that as well. But other than that, we are just looking to finish the game. Define significant. Colonial is haggling already. PM me. Significant, as in at least 5-digit figures. World creation kit and elves in space. That's going to cost a bit more. Then we're 6 to 7 digits range. But yeah, I mean, don't let it be said that we're not open to suggestions from the community if they pay for it. No, honestly speaking, we think that what we've got now with the upcoming features, we've got the multiple choice dialogues in, we've got rigging in, extended skill trees, character creation, new missions, consumables, improved AIs, the shops. We've got upcoming the 4-player co-op. We still have the multiplayer hub, so the actual where you meet other guys. We have a new way to select your henchmen that will come in. That feels more natural to actually meet them. You see them inside your hub and you talk to them. And we also have a lot of NPCs that will have a sort of give you a lot of story background and additional comments and also a lot of dialogue interaction. So I think with the package that we've got there, it's going to be a pretty good game, and I hope that this version, the upcoming version now, shows more of what we in our minds always envisioned but haven't been able to show you yet. Convention plans for Q1 and Q2. Well, Nevok, we're going to be at the RPC, and we expect you to be there as well and help us. I'm going to be at GDC, but just me and my lonesome. So if you are at GDC, just again ping me. I'm happy to sit down. Other than that, we haven't really ironed out any convention plans now. We don't want to, again, we want to focus on the game. So currently all our efforts are geared towards, laser pointed towards making this game and getting it out for launch. And then after that, we see whether we have time for the convention circuit. Okay. Ryan just posted that if you that this is a proof for him that if you nag enough, you get what you want, and the devs do listen. I wouldn't say the nagging actually helps that much. It's sort of the friendly reminder thing that we go for. But a lot of the time, honestly, I mean, a lot of the comments and the responses. This is why we did a Kickstarter, and this is why we wanted early access, so we can get back feedback from the community. And if we didn't listen to that and didn't change things after that, it would be a relatively futile affair. So of course we do listen to stuff, and of course we change stuff. Sometimes it's that we already see it, or we know that it's not going to be what it's currently is, but for technical reasons or because this is the stage in the development process that it is, we weren't able to put it in. So a lot of the times it's not like, hey guys, do, I don't know, decent character creation. Of course we're going to do character creation, just not at the current point in time. So a lot of the times it's just things where we go, yeah, this is going to go in. Of course it's going to go in. But we weren't able to show that yet.
Yeah, it's like the consumables. They were on the table for a long time.
Yes, consumables. Yeah, I mean, we knew that there's going to be medkits and there's going to be grenades, of course, but they weren't there yet because they technically weren't implemented.
Yeah.
Or they were implemented, but we didn't set the data. Sometimes it's technically there, but it's not really working yet because we actually need to implement it with data and balance it and all that.
And animations.
Animations, especially. Yeah, that's a lot of time. That's a shortcut. Oh, that's not a shortcut. That's a bottleneck for a studio. A small studio with limited graphical resources. There's sort of a long queue of stuff that goes in, like gas masks, which we knew we wanted to have, but weren't able to get in until now. And there's going to be, as I said, face paints and tattoos. Before anybody asks me again, yes, they're going to go in. Okay, Colonian. Yes, you can PM me. 5-digit thing. Yeah, let's talk. I mean, again, we're not going to put in new features or completely new character classes for now, but and we're not really taking your money in order to get stuff in at that stage. It's going to be the game. But if there's a good suggestion, if people think it's a cool idea, and we also think it's a cool idea, then yeah, of course we're going to go for it. Hats we have. Okay, well, I think we're calling the wrap now. Florian has to go to his girlfriend, who's has a birthday today, and he has abstained from that, so he could be able to show you the game alongside me, because I'm too stupid to operate a game and talk and do Twitch at the same time.
I just had to prove that I'm really not used to playing anymore.
Yeah, I think you did well. I mean, considering that you had over 100 hit points each, that's of course
I would have died in the first
easy.
encounter on the normal settings.
Probably would have been a very short view at our level and of the new difficulty that is perfectly balanced now.
Players are said they wanted that.
Yeah. Kilonian, if you want to PM, just send me a mail to office@Cliffhanger Productions, and I'll get that somehow. So happy birthday to the girlfriend, definitely. Yeah, you should give her all our regards. And if she asks you what have you done, you just show her the video. You
just on the record, she's my wife. But
okay, sorry, he's a Oh, I thought the other girl was your girlfriend. Now we're gonna get into trouble.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we need to switch off because this is going downhill pretty quickly. So yeah, thanks everybody for being here. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Please let other people know if you find the time and want to give us a bit of a good review on Steam. That is also appreciated. And in 7 days?
Yeah, in a week.
In a week. We'll see you online. And then we'll also announce the next Q&A whenever we have something new and interesting to say, or I just have time and we hang around.
Exactly.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks. See you around.
Bye.